Hello and welcome to Ponsford International Sports Centre here in the city of Sheffield for the 2019 Speedo and BUCS Short Course Swimming Championship. Session 1 will be getting underway fairly shortly. We're going to start with the men's mixed 4x50 medley relay. Plenty of events and heats coming up in this session. It will end with the final of the mixed 4x50 medley relay. Speedo and BUCS Short Course Championship 2019 is brought to you with support of the headline partner Speedo and our supporting partners Bright Network and Camp America. We of course thank each partner for their support. You can get involved with the conversation tonight and all weekend using the hashtag SpeedoBucks. So if you are on social media, including YouTube of course, following this stream. Now there are two streams. This stream you're watching right now will be in the North Pool. That is going to be the allocated men's pool for the weekend. And then the South Pool is on a separate stream. You should be able to find it right next to the one you're currently watching. But before we get underway with our session number 1 at 6 p.m, you're shortly going to see a little video from our event partners.
So much support from Bright Network that without them, I'm not sure I would have been able to get the job that I did.
It kind of broke down jobs and grad schemes and things available in a way that was really easy for me to understand and apply to.
It was a mixture of the website and obviously the commercial awareness updates I got via my email.
Really easy to navigate. There is like thousands of internships that you can just pick from on their pages.
So without Bright Network, I wouldn't even know the role existed.
So there we are, and once again we do thank our headline partner Speedo and our supporting partners the Bright Network and Camp America. If you are down at poolside at any time tonight and this weekend, they do have stands here as well. So as well as watching the adverts, you can speak to them in person if you come on down. Once again, you are listening to us live from Ponsford International Sports Centre for the 2019 Speedo and BUCS Short Course Swimming Championships. Now this event is one of 3 in the Speedo and BUCS swimming series. It is made up of course of the short course, which is this weekend, the long course and the team championship. The action is getting underway at 6 p.m. We'll be bringing you every single heat and final across the entire weekend. We're going to start with the mixed 4x50 medley relay again at 6 o'clock. Stick with us. So thank you once again for joining us. Just about to get underway with event 101. Now, something to let you know, there are 2 pools in action. In heat number 1, the odd numbered heats are going to be shown in the men's pool stream. The even numbered heats are going to be in the women's pool stream. So bear that in mind. Heat number 1 of event 101 is the mixed 4x50 medley team relay. And as you can see, just 1 team in heat number 1. The events coming up are going to be in this pool. The men's 4x50 metre freestyle relay, that's event 103 of the session. Event 105 is the men's 1500 metre freestyle. There's going to be a heat declared winner in that one. And then event 106 is the final of this event. So this opening event, the mixed 4x50 medley team relay, 7 heats. The 10 A finalists and 10 B finalists will fight it out at the end of this session. Now I can tell you in heat number 2, which is now underway in the women's pool stream, there's a lot more swimmers taking part than in the North Pool. The North Pool, if we make reference to that, or you see reference, is the men's pool. The South Pool is the women's pool. And in lane number 4, our only competitors in this seat is the team from Bedfordshire University. 3 minutes was the entry time. Just having a look on the the YouTube stream. You can leave some messages for us. Now this applies to over the entire weekend. Any messages for loved ones watching, put them down. We'll read out as many as we can. Any questions, let us know. And the finishing time for Bedfordshire, 2 minutes 20.33. A fairly lonely pool for the Bedfordshire team. But as you can see to the left hand side, the starting end of the pool, a much fuller heat for heat number 3, which we'll be going on to in a moment. Kath Baker says good luck to everybody at the University of Birmingham. And Nerese Christie, come on Bristol Uni. So Nerese, you're in the right stream because Bristol are going in heat number 5, which you're going to be able to see in not too long a time whatsoever. We're going to go on with heat number 3 very shortly. From the near side, you've got Dundee in lane 0, Gloucestershire in 1, Kent in 2, University College London in 3, York in 4, Cardiff Metropolitan in 5, Bournemouth in 6, Leicester Southern, London 8 and Bristol in 9. Entry times into these seats are around about the 2:01s out to the 2:05s. So just 4.5 seconds or so separating all 10 teams. And the marker put down by Bedfordshire in heat number 1 was 2:25. And to participate, that being beaten by a good 20 seconds or so. Barry Wilson on the YouTube comment section, good luck Cardiff Met. Rory Huggins, what a thriller. That's what you get with one team. Good luck Southampton, let's go Cardiff. And come on Finley, up the ticks from Freestyle Druid. So heat number 3, early leaders on this near side in 3. There's UCL, and in lane number 9 is Bristol 2. The third leg swimmers come in. Always very hard to know where each team has put their strongest swimmer. It's always very beneficial when you've got a strong butterfly leg. And I'll tell you who has that. It's lane number 2, Kent 1. Absolutely come from outside the top 3 to lead into the final leg. What a great 50 metres. And they're still in lane 3, our early leaders, UCL. And on the far side, lane number 9, Bristol 2. They're our top 3. In the centre lanes, York and Cardiff Met doing everything they can. But there is going to be a new fastest time coming from heat number 3. And the time is going to be, just wait for confirmation. It was most definitely lane number 2. So we'll just wait for that one to come up. So we'll try and refresh those graphics for you. There we go, 156.6 for Kent. Then came UCL, exactly a second back. And on the far side, second place rate, the first 150 metres, Bristol 2, settled for third in 158. There you're only 3 teams under 2 minutes. But 156.6, the new fastest time set by Kent 1. So plenty of comments flying in now on the YouTube stream comment section. Good luck Team Newcastle, come on Bournemouth. Good luck to Yuri, such a good swimmer. We will find out, Charlie, we will find out later. You've set a precedent for him now though. Good luck to Portsmouth, particularly to Tom Conte. And great swim from Josh Wilson from Cardiff Met from Barry Wilson. Again, if you do comment on that, we will try our best to keep up over the entire weekend. Now you're going to go and watch heat number 5. Again, 156 from Kent in heat 3. The time to be. I'll try and keep you updated best we can from the South Pool, because they are hosting the even-numbered heats. So in heat 5 from this near side, Kiel in 0, Bristol 1 in 1, Leeds Beckett in 2, Manchester in 3, Stirling in 4, Stirling in 5. So they're 1 and 2 or A and B teams in there. Surrey 2 in 6, Aberdeen in 7, Manchester Met team 2 in 8, and Notts Trent on the far side, outside in lane number 9. Couple of nice messages for Bournemouth coming in. It's all about Bournemouth Uni. It's not, Greg. It's all about Speedo and BUCS this weekend. But I get where you're coming from. And then another message, Elliot Level for Bournemouth. Go strong, or so strong. And Bournemouth come in heat number 7 a little bit later. Bournemouth 1, that is. So you're in the right place. So the reason at the moment we might have any delay prior to starting a heat is because we've got 2 heats going on at once. So we've got the North Pool and the South Pool here in Sheffield. We have to make sure we don't start 2 at exactly the same time, of course. So we do try and start them 30 seconds apart or so. And that'll be the case for the weekend. Otherwise it would be a 6-day event and not a 3-day event. Saturday and Sunday, 3 sessions per day. The final session will be the finals, of course. We have got one final again this evening. It'll be the final of this event. So we do have a bit of a break. There's some 1500 metre heats coming up in both pools as well. So we're underway in heat number 5 again. Kiel, Bristol, Leeds, Beckett, Manchester, Stirling 1 and 2, Surrey, Aberdeen, Manchester Met and Notts Trent. Fastest time to beat from this pool is 1:56.6. So Carolina Moraes cheering on Manchester in this heat. First to touch in lane 3 is Manchester. There you go, Carolina. They were listening. But look at this, a strong 25 in lane number 5. Stirling 2. And in fact, the 2 Stirling teammates in 4 and 5 leading the way down the centre. On the far side, lane 9, Notts Trent. Couple of lanes inside lane 7, Aberdeen. They're going strong. But here comes Stirling. Reach the halfway mark in 54.66. Stirling, their teammates, the only ones less than a second to them. Still Aberdeen in lane 7. But keep your eye on lane number 3 as well. That's Manchester. Those two are neck and neck. Lane number 9, Notts Trent, just slipping back slightly. Stirling still in very much control of heat number 5. And particularly lane number 4, which is Stirling 1. Lanes 3 and 7, Manchester and Aberdeen doing everything they can to now catch Stirling 2. They might do it in this leg, in fact. And there's a 1:45, 11 seconds off the time set by Kent. Stirling 2, make it a 1-2. The only other team under 1:50. And then Manchester and Aberdeen, a little battle between those two universities for 3rd and 4th. It comes the way of Manchester, 1:51.57. So in fact, the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams all beating the fastest time set by Kent in heat 3. But cracking time from Stirling 1. Always a strong university in these championships, the BUCS events, across all sports as well, but particularly the swimming. So we'll be seeing plenty more of them. 1:45.21, the new time to beat. For heat number 7, we are going to see, if you're waiting for a team in heat 6, you need to watch the second stream, which is officially the women's pool, also the South pool. And that'll be the case for the entire weekend. Of course, men's events in the North Pool, women's in the South. Of course, if you're in the venue, you can watch both at the same time. Or if you're very posh and you've got 2 tellies as well, you can do that. So heat number 7 we're going to watch in a moment. It's going to be from lane 0. And our first leg, backstroke swimmers drop into the pool. From lane 1, it's Cardiff Met, Leeds, Bournemouth, Bath, Loughborough 2, Manchester Met 1, Nottingham 1, Oxford, Oxford Brooks. And then on the far side, lane 9, is York 2. I can tell you that in heat number 4 that we didn't see, but on the pool to my right hand side there wasn't a time that was as quick as 1:45. The fastest time in heat 4 was in fact a 1:53 set by East Anglia. So 4 faster times than that from heat 5, so nothing to challenge in heat number 4. But coming back to heat number 7 then, this one's a little bit tighter because we've got lanes 3, 4 and 7, which is Bath, Loughborough and Oxford. They're your top 3. In lane number 1 you've got Leeds University, team 1, currently in 4th place. And 5 and 6 neck and neck, Manchester and Nottingham. Plenty of work to do for Oxford Brooks. York 2 on the far side, a little bit of chasing to do as well. So it's still Bath out in front, it's as you were. 1:45 again the time to beat. KTX is saying go leads. They're currently in lane number 1. Just outside the top 4 at the moment. Again, the top 10 will make it to the A final. The second fastest 10 from both heats and both pools this. We're going to get into the B final. And then at some point I'll explain how the points work. We always get questions about how the points work. But this is a fantastic last 25 metres. It is still lane number 4. It's still Loughborough 2. But it's very tight behind them. The winning time is a 1:48.47. Sorry, 1:47.07, so that's not quicker than Sterling 2 in heat number 5. So we'll wait for confirmation of the final 10 that go into that final later on this evening. And there's your times on the screen then as well. So Loughborough 2, 1:47. Second place was Bath. And it was those centre 3 lanes that we see so often. Manchester met the team in third place. Only those 3 under 1:50. Very tight indeed between Oxford and Nottingham. 9/10 separating those two teams, but Loughborough 2 in a 1:47.07. We'll have to wait and see if that gets them into the fastest 10, because over in this South Pool, the winning time from heat 6 was Loughborough 1. No, it was Edinburgh got a 1:45.84. Loughborough then with a 1:46.60. So that's got to be 7 of the fastest times. Trying to be a human calculator here. I'd rather wait for confirmation to bring it to you officially. But definitely a few Scottish universities. So the next event we're going to see in this pool, because that does conclude event 101, which is the mixed 4x50 or 200 metre medley team relay. I know it's still relay, but this time it is just the men's 4x50 freestyle relay. The final of this event is going to be in our evening session tomorrow. And there's going to be a whopping 10 heats in this one. So we've got scheduled on our paperwork for 3 teams in heat number 1. But as you can see, it is only Worcester taking part. So no University West of England, no Coventry. So it's a lonely old time again, just as we had in event 101, in fact. It was just Bedfordshire in the pool on their own. So Worcester's entry time was 2:05.14. Nobody left and right to drag them on, unfortunately. Ollie Baines. Ask me a question, Ollie, on the YouTube chat. What are you confused about? I'll try and answer it for you. So lane 3, Worcester, 27.11 was the first leg. Halfway in 54.79, so on schedule at least for well under their 2:05 entry in this one. If I jump down and have a look at heat number 10, just to give you an idea of how things are going to speed up throughout these heats. Sterling came in with a 1:27. They were the fastest out of all 10 heats worth of entry times. And in fact, everybody in that final heat under 1:40. So once again, these championships brought to you by Speedo as our headline partner, and also Bright Network and Camp America. Speedo, the iconic global swimming brand, have partnered with BUCS swimming program for the next 3 years. In fact, it's not just a one-off, it's a 3-year long-term partnership, and they're proving popular here at Ponds Forge and can be with you at home as well. Use the BUCS20 discount code, the BUCS20 discount code at the Speedo.com shop to get some of the latest and best swimming apparel at a 20% discount. So BUCS, of course, would like to thank Speedo for their support of the Speedo and BUCS swimming series and higher education sport as a whole. So 1:50 the time from Worcester. That's the time to beat for the rest of our heats. And it looks like we've got a fairly full pool for heat number 2. Quickest entry from heat number 2 is from Kent. That's a 1:50. And there's a couple of fans of Matt Cross out there, Natasha Murray and Jay Fokukunde. Come on, Matt Cross. The swimmer. I could assume he was a swimmer. And come on, Leeds Beckett. Flat 9 from Ollie B. So after these 10 heats, again, there is a little bit of a delay because we're just getting a race underway in the South Women's Pool. A second completely live stream available all weekend. So the first event of the weekend, that mixed 4x50 relay, we just shared it between both pools to get the weekend going. And from here on in, it'll be men on this stream, women on the second stream. So that race has started in the pool to my right. So we can now get underway with heat number 2. Here in the men's pool. And from this near side, in lane 0, Aberystwyth, then come Bournemouth 2, Coventry 1, Plymouth, Kent 1, Lancaster 1, Chester, York St John and Reading 2. So a quick start from Plymouth in 3. Left the rest of the pool behind to their side though. Coventry and Kent closest to them. In fact, Bournemouth just got there first in lane number 1. And a strong second leg as well. Under 37 seconds to 75 metres. In 1 and 4, Bournemouth and Kent. Strongest so far, lane 8 on the far side, Reading doing nicely as well. So there's your times, 50.3, over 2 seconds out to Bournemouth. .150 the time to beat, which is in fact the entry time of both Kent and Lancaster. And this was a cracking swim from Plymouth. They went off like a gun in leg number 1 and they're still going, and the lead has grown and grown. Still Bournemouth, a good 6 or 7 metres behind though, and the same around about time in seconds. And in lane 3, and you've got Plymouth on the far side, lane number 7, York St John now, they're up in the top 4. Winning time though from Plymouth is a 1:39.51. So 11 seconds quicker than heat number 1. Then comes 6 seconds the gap back to Bournemouth. Then Coventry. So all the action happening on this near side. Plymouth, Bournemouth, Coventry. 1:39.51 the winning time. And that is a fair bit quicker than the entry times from heats 3, 4 and 5 as well. So Plymouth and the like clearly saving their best. Will it be enough to see them into this evening's final? We wait and see. Heat number 3 is going to be Southampton, Kiel, Strathclyde, Aberdeen 1, Bangor 1, Oxford Brookes 2, York, Leicester, Liverpool and Marjon. So race just starting in the women's pool to my right, so we can get underway now. And there's your James we've just been through. In the women's pool at the moment, it's exactly the same event. It's the 4x50 freestyle relay. If you're interested in both, but you can only watch one, of course. If you've got one screen, I will try and keep you up to date with what's going on as well. But it is all live for you on 2 channels. So again, it's this near side that has the quickest time going out. That's Strathclyde. In 7 and 9, you've got Leicester and Marjon. In 3, Aberdeen. So the 2 Scottish universities in 2 and 3, neck and neck, or maybe half a second separating them. 0.69. Then Marjon and Leicester and Kiel. Everybody else at 2.2 and outside. And it is in fact now Aberdeen that have taken the advantage over Strathclyde. And they'll lead at the halfway stage. That's a change for about 3 seconds, because it was, what it is, 2.04 now. It was half a second the other way. Then come Leicester, York, Marjon, Liverpool, Kiel and Bangor. And Aberdeen really now taking this by the scruff of the neck. Strathclyde no longer in second place, because Leicester and York have taken advantage. Still 4.5 seconds in deficit to Aberdeen. Strathclyde down in 6th now, in fact. Even Marjon in lane number 9. But again, strong swimming from start to finish. This time it's Aberdeen 1. Their winning time 1:37.47, so it takes 2 seconds off the time set by Plymouth. Then look at that, half a second separating Leicester and Strathclyde. Then Marjon on the far side. Then York, Bangor, and York and Kiel. Not the greatest race for Southampton, but Aberdeen a 1:37.47. New fastest time, plenty of heats to come, of course. That's heat number 3, 10 in total. And plenty of universities with plenty of teams as well. I'm just looking at heat number 8. You've got Sheffield Hallam, 4 teams in heat number 8 for Sheffield Hallam. Sheffield Hallam 1, 2, 3 and 4. My goodness, how many teams have they got in this event? So heat number 4, we'll see Aston, London, Durham 2, Lancaster 2, Aberdeen 2, Sheffield Hallam 5, there we go, Manchester Metropolitan 2, Chichester, long drive up from Chichester to Sheffield, Northampton in 8, and Manchester Metropolitan 3 in lane number 9. So Sheffield Hallam, the most local university, 2 Ponds Forge. One of their campuses literally about 100 yards away from the pool. Lane 1, London, quickest start, but a much tighter heat already in the very early stages. Aston in 0, they'll touch neck and neck on this near side. In fact, just 600 separating those two. Half a second back to Northampton, Manchester, Met 2 and 3. Then beyond 1 second for Lancaster and the remaining. And things are still getting tighter. Lane number 9 on the far side, Manchester, Met 3. Now with just an arm mount in front to the halfway stage. Tightest heat we've seen so far out of the first 4. So Manchester Met 3 and 2 within 4/10. Then come Aberdeen, Lancaster, Sheffield Hallam and Northampton, all inside 2 seconds. Aston 200ths outside that 2 second mark. And nobody is running away with this one whatsoever. 4 teams tied. If you drew a ruler across the pool at the moment, you could barely separate these by half a second. Let's have a look at the times come in. There we go. Less than 4/10 separating them, in fact. Manchester Met 3, Lancaster, Aberdeen and Manchester Met all team 2s. Those 4 within 4/10 of a second. with 25 to go. It's not getting any wider whatsoever. It's going to be absolutely neck and neck in these last final 10 metres. I'm looking at the middle two lanes, 3 and 4, Lancaster and Aberdeen, but also 2 on the far side. Who's going to get it? It just goes to Aberdeen by 700ths of a second over Lancaster 2. Fantastic entertaining swimming here in heat number 4. So Manchester Met did finally get third place ahead of Manchester Met 3. And everybody of those 4 inside 141.5, but 140.95. It's enough to win the heat. It's not going to get them into the final because it's not quicker than heat number 3, time of 1:37. But very entertaining for the neutral and you watching at home. Plenty of people here inside the venue as well. Fantastic venue, this Ponds Forge. Quite rightly gets the title of International Sports Centre. Got 2 25-metre pools in action. Diving pool to the far right-hand side being used as a warm-up and warm-down pool as well. Fantastic facilities. Lucas Bedford Conte on the YouTube chat saying Matt Cross 4-3 favourite to win the freestyle relay. Did you get those with William Hill? And Alan Taylor. Come on, Niall Taylor, Southampton. PB today, please. Come on, Elliot Laville, bring it home. And then go on, Marjon, lane 9. We've just seen them in heat number 3, in fact. So again, we'll try and keep up to date the best we can with the comments coming in. The action in front of us, of course, has to take precedent, but we will try and get to everything as quickly as we can. Now, heat number 5. From this near side, Leeds Beckett, Brunel 1, Southampton 2, Portsmouth 2, Reading 1, Dundee, Imperial, Warwick 2, UCL and York 2 on the far side in lane number 9. Early leaders in lane 3, Portsmouth 2. In lane number 7, Warwick 2. And it's not as tight as we had in lane number 4, but there's a lot close, isn't there? Look at that, 1.5 seconds separating the top 4. Portsmouth 2, Southampton 2, Warwick 2. And then Dundee. If there's no number next to them, they've only got one team in the event. Even if there's a number 1, it means they've got a multiple team, of course. It's just amazing the distance universities are travelling for these championships. Sheffield's about the most central you can get. There's a great swimming venue to cover the entirety of the UK. So there's still Portsmouth 2 leading the way ahead of Reading and Dundee. Dundee coming back into this one in the last few metres, but it is going to go to Portsmouth 2, 1:38.98 against 1:39.37, 4/10 separating those two. Imperial a couple of seconds back in 1:41.9. So Portsmouth take the quickest time in heat number 5. Not the quickest time of the heat so far though, because that is still from heat number 3 as a 1:37. And that's us halfway through the event already. They go quick, don't they? 10 heats in this one. Ollie B says, come on, James Porter. Let me know what teams they're in as well, Ollie. Harry Street, Joe Stott will be first to 15. There's a lot of excitement about Matt Cross, isn't there? And he is from Leeds 1. Thank you, Natasha. So this is going to be heat number 6 of 10 from lane 0. This near side, we're going to have Bristol, Leeds 2, Nottingham 2, Lancaster 1, Harriet Watt, Oxford Brookes 1, East Anglia 2, Newcastle 2, Cardiff Met 2 and Exeter 2. So plenty of B teams or team number 2s in this one. 6 in fact of the 10. And plenty of support for Leeds coming from Natasha and Jade on the YouTube chat. So they're going to be watching lane number 1. And away we go. So entry times all around about the 140 mark, 141, only 1.5 seconds separating the entire field. On paper here I've got Nottingham, Lancaster, Heriot-Watt and Oxford Brookes all came in with 140s. And Elliot Lavelle is from Bournemouth. Thank you, Greg. So there we go, good starts from Leeds. In fact, there we go. They do hear these messages, I'm sure. Then in lanes 3 and 4, Lancaster and Heriot-Watt, they're your top three through 75. Then look at this, I'm trying to find out who's in fourth place. Somewhere between Bristol, Nottingham. On the far side, lane 8, Cardiff Met are up there. But still our top three are Leeds, Lancaster and Heriot-Watt. Lancaster just with their noses in front. In fact, just moving a body length in front now in lane number 3 is Lancaster. Cracking third leg swimming. Here come our final swimmers. Leeds go in second. In lane number 4, Heriot-Watt jump in the top 3. And then everything happening between lanes 0 and 4, in fact, isn't it, on this near side? Bristol, Leeds, Nottingham, Lancaster, Heriot-Watt, they are the top 5 on the near side. So almost two separate races going on, but in lane number 3, Lancaster won, streaking away with it in the end. Body length and a half advantage. Leicester's trying to hang on to top 3 in this one. 136.36. Heriot-Watt takes second, and Leeds 2 do take third place. 139.43. It was very tight indeed. Look at that on the near side of the pool. 5 teams under 140. Lancaster won the quickest. 136.36. That is the new fastest time. I'm sure Ollie B, Natasha and Jade are all fairly happy with that. Top 3 in heat number 6. And we're going to move on to heat number 7. From the near side, as ever, Birmingham 2, Leeds Beckett, Anglia Ruskin, Exeter 1, Bournemouth 1, Liverpool, Glasgow 2, Durham 1, Liverpool 1 and Notts Trent. Or Nottingham Trent. Just a momentary delay. We've got a women's race starting. They're also on heat number 7 to our right hand side. Now, just to make you aware, all of the times as we finish are live and available to you on the BUCS website or the BUCS app as well. So as well as watching, don't worry about writing all these times down for your teammates and family and friends. They are all available to you as they come in on the BUCS website. If you're using social, use the hashtag SpeedoBucks. We're going to try and interact with as many of you as possible across as many channels as possible. And we're underway with heat number 7. So Ollie B cheering for Leeds Beckett in this one again, as Leeds did in heat number 6. Leeds Beckett go in lane number 1 in heat 7. It's lane 0, Birmingham, just with the noses out in front through leg 2. In lane 2, Anglia Ruskin. Durham on the far side, lane number 7. What was it? Heat number 4, wasn't it? That was extremely tight. We do enjoy those ones. So Birmingham 2, Anglia Ruskin, then Liverpool, Glasgow, Exeter and Bournemouth, Leeds, Beckett and Durham, Liverpool all within 2 seconds at the halfway stage, so everybody involved. I think even Nottingham Trent on the far side, marginally outside 2 seconds, still very much involved. So only a few strokes separating the entire pool as we go into the final leg. It was Birmingham that went in first, 1400ths behind Liverpool, then Anglia Ruskin, Liverpool. And into the final 25, lane 0, Birmingham. Fantastic first 25 of the final leg. In lane number 5, Liverpool closely tied with them in lane number 8. Liverpool, John Moore. And it does go to Birmingham. Not many wins from lane 0 so far this evening, but it's a 1:36.28. That is a new fastest time. Just takes a tenth or so off the time set by Lancaster in heat number 6. And we went to Liverpool, 1:36.82, so 4/10 back. Then Liverpool, John Moore, 1:37.18 in lane number 8. So just 3 to go heats in this event. Our next event after this is going to be event 105. It's the men's 1500 metre freestyle. Only 2 heats in that one. So here's our Sheffield Hallam heat. So from this near side, Nottingham 1, Manchester Met 1, Newcastle 1, Glasgow 1, Sheffield Hallam 1, Stirling 2, Sheffield Hallam 2, Sheffield Hallam 3, Sheffield Hallam 4, and then Southampton 1 in lane number 9. Now these last 3 heats of any event is where we start seeing the really fast entry times. A 1:30 was what Sheffield Hallam 1 came in with. 1:36 again is the fastest heat time of the first 7. So we'll expect to see that beating. Stirling came in with a 1:31.9. Quick start from Manchester Met in lane number 1. In lane 5, Stirling. There are our first 2. Then Glasgow. Then the first of our Sheffield Hallam teams. Still already a second back, in fact, after the first leg. 1500s ahead of their A team, or team number 1. And as the paperwork suggests, our fastest swimmers are coming now from the centre lanes. There we go, Stirling 2 and Sheffield Hallam 1 now taking advantage of their fellow teams. 1200s back from Stirling 2. So we saw Stirling have a fantastic race in our first event of the evening. That was the mixed 4x50 medley relays. Sure, we'll see them again later in the final. Again, that's to be confirmed. You might even get that information online now on the BUCS website and their app. There's our top 2 teams again, still Stirling and Sheffield Hallam. So 25 metres between them and the fastest time. 1:36 is the time to beat. I think that's going to be done fairly comfortably by a second or 2. Look at that, neck and neck, in fact, very tight. 1:33.01, 1900ths away from Sheffield Hallam 1. And Sheffield Hallam 2 in 3rd. That was the best of the rest of their teams. So how will that time by Stirling, 1:33.01, how's that going to stack up with 2 heats to go? Because the entry times from heats 9 and 10 do go down as low as 1:27 and 1:28. Again, top 10 teams into the final. Final of this event is going to be tomorrow evening. Can't fit too many more finals in this evening. We've already got the final of the mixed 4x50 medley coming up. That'll be after the men's 1500 metre. 2 heats in that. Will be a heat declared winner. So heat number 9, you are going to see Warwick 1, Portsmouth 1, Swansea 1, Manchester 1, Loughborough, Bath, Edinburgh 2, Surrey 2, East Anglia 1 and Sheffield. So as well as Speedo being the headline partner, we've also got 2 supporting partners. One of them is Bright Network. And Bright Network are the UK's #1 student careers network, offering exclusive advice, networking events and fast-track opportunities with top graduate employers. Bright Network work with over 300 firms and have helped over 14,000 students secure their roles to date. Find out how they can help you at their stand on the balcony. Of course, that's if you're here. If you're not here, use brightnetwork.co.uk. So 14,000 students to date secured their roles using Bright Network. That's a fairly good endorsement, isn't it? So check them out. Back in heat number 9. Already onto the final leg. Swansea 1 lead it. Manchester 1 within a second. Bath 1.21 behind. Little bit of work to do for Portsmouth and the rest, including Edinburgh. And it's getting tighter between lanes 2 and 4, Swansea and Loughborough. And I can't tell you who's going to take it. It's going to be Swansea, isn't it, in 2. Just wait for those times to come up for you. 1:33.01, this time set by Sterling in heat number 8. Here we go, 1:31.67, taking almost 2 full seconds off it. Loughborough, I'm from Pulborough. Loughborough 1:32, so they're also under the time of Sterling. So just 1 heat to go. So the teams in the final heat know what they've got to do. And I'm looking mainly at Sterling 1 because they came in with a 1:27 entry coming into this. So a bit of a delay there, but there's your top 4 from heat number 9, 1:33.62. Will that be enough to get them into the A final? Top 10 fastest from all these heats make it. B final, the second 10 fastest. During the 1500 metre heats, I'm going to explain how the points work at this BUCS Championship with Speedo. So women's heat number 10 is getting underway before we start the men's. If you do want to switch to the women's stream, coming up after this event is going to be the women's 1500 metre freestyle for the women. That is on the South Pool or the women's pool stream. Just do the same. Whatever you did on YouTube, I'm sure you searched along the lines of Speedo BUCS Swimming 2019. There's going to be 2 channels, the one you're watching, and then a women's equivalent as well. So Lauren Tunstall will be watching heat number 10 very closely as she supports Birmingham 1. They're going to go in lane number 8 on the far side, so keep your eyes on that one, Lauren. And I think I'm going to have to go and meet Taran because he's extremely popular on the YouTube chat. And there's your teams then for heat number 10. Manchester 3 from lane 0, then come Leeds 1, Cardiff Met 1, Oxford, Stirling 1, Edinburgh 1, Surrey 1, Manchester 2, Birmingham 1 and York 1. So plenty of number 1 teams, of course, as we get really to the business end of the heats now. So 1:31.67 the time to beat to guarantee you a place in the A final tomorrow evening. Now Callum Ray is asked to say, please say, come on Taran of Leeds Beckett. But for now, let's get underway with heat number 10. Again, Manchester, Leeds, Cardiff Met, Oxford, Stirling, Edinburgh, Surrey, Manchester 2, Birmingham and York. Majority of team 1s in lane 5, Edinburgh, quickest first 50, leg number 1. And no surprise whatsoever to see our centre two lanes, which is Stirling and Edinburgh, the two Scottish unis, such great swimming universities in Scotland. And look at that, absolutely powering through the first two legs. In lane one, Leeds, not particularly close, but the closest to them. Then a trio on the far side, Surrey, Manchester and Birmingham, in a little race of their own as they race side by side. And in goes Stirling, 105.85 into the final leg, a second and a half now ahead of Edinburgh. Then come Leeds, almost 4.5 seconds back to third place in heat number 10. What is the time going to be? My goodness me, just 12.5 metres to go for Stirling. They will set the time in this one as they did in the mixed event in our first event of the evening. Look at that, it's a 127.6, 4 seconds quicker than the fastest heat time in heat number 9. Edinburgh 129.89, they will go into the A final as well tomorrow evening. We'll wait and see on the rest. Leeds are 133.77. But look at that, 127.6 for Stirling to close out the men's 4x50 freestyle team relay. So again, keep your eye on the BUCS website, on the BUCS app as well, to see the official times as they come in and see who's made the finals after all the confirmations are done. Of course, we do say there's a caveat to be confirmed, just in case there's any disqualifications that we didn't see from our commentary box, all to be confirmed. But it's looking very good for Stirling through events 101 and 103, taking the fastest times in the mixed and the men's relays. And we're going to move on now to event 105, which is going to be swum at a very different pace to our first two events on the men's pool stream, because this is the 1500 metre freestyle. Only 2 heats, but they're going to be in the region of sort of 16-15 minutes worth of time. And I'm going to use some of that time to explain to you again how the scoring works at these championships. So in this heat, from lane 0, you got Samuel Naylor of Newcastle, Finlay Saunders of Stirling in 1, Angus Rutherford of Aberdeen in 2, Alex Crossland-Robbins of Stirling in 3, Marshall Illingworth of Glasgow in 4, in 5, Ryan Huddart of Derby, in 6, Alex Dakers of Bath, in 7, Tom Jeffers of Glasgow, and in 8, Elliot Pickford of Manchester Metropolitan. Fastest on the entries, it's a 15.57. That's from Marshall Illingworth. In fact, he was the only man under 16 minutes from the 9 in the pool. We got 10 swimmers in heat number 2 to come after this one, of course, and it only goes down to a 15.04. I say only, 15.04. And this is key now, this is going to be heat declared winner. So the fastest 3 times from these 2 heats combined are going to be your gold, silver and bronze medalists, okay? Not necessarily are they going to come from heat number 2. If you set a cracking time in heat 1, you may as well get your hands on a medal. Of course, we do anticipate the fastest swimmers are in heat number 2, so that's where we expect the medals to come from. But if you've been watching swimming for even a short time, you know it doesn't always work like that. At the conclusion of these 2 heats, we will have the final of the mixed 4x50 medley relay. The heats we saw earlier on in the afternoon, or the evening session, it started just after 6, didn't it? So these BUCS points then, how does it all work? First of all, to get into the final of any event here at the Speedo and BUCS Short Course Championships, the top 10 swimmers or teams, of course if it's a relay event, will advance to the A finals, and the B finals will be made up of teams ranked 11 to 20, so the second 10 fastest effectively. The top 3 swimmers of each event will receive medals. The BUCS points will be awarded to the top 4 swimmers and teams of eligible events. Here is how the point scoring works. In each event, only the fastest individual from each institution, each university, will score points. For example, where there is more than one A finalist from the same institution, only the highest ranking will score points. So even if you get first and second place, same uni, in one event, only first will score, and then whoever comes third will be upgraded to second place, and so on. So the subsequent point scoring will then be determined by the rankings in the B final and all the heats as applicable, until there are 10 different institutions making up the top 10 spaces. Individual events will be scored on a first place being awarded 10 points, second place 9 points, etc, down to 1 point for 10th place. Relay teams are going to score double points, and only the teams in the A final score points, except in the case of a disqualification or a no-show, in which case the subsequent point scoring will then be determined by the rankings in the B final and or heats as applicable, etc, as you go down. So quite simply, the top 10 swimmers from an individual institution score points from 10 points for first place down to 1 point for 10th place. All of this can be found on the BUCS website and the BUCS Play app. The medals, so you get points first of all, and the medals for each event is going to be, of course, the first 3 individuals or teams in each event. And trophies will be awarded to the top overall institution, calculated using the point scoring system I've just mentioned above as well. So the top men's and women teams, the top male and female performances, and the top male and female para swimming performances. Presentations for all of this take place as per the presentation protocol after the conclusion of each session. So that will be sessions 4 and 6 for you and I, because they are the finals sessions, okay? So tomorrow and Sunday, 3 sessions on each day. So this is session 1. So tomorrow is going to be session 2, 3 and 4. Session 4 will be the finals, and then 5, 6, 7 on Sunday. Session 7 will be our finals. All right, everything clear? If not, just leave a little comment in the YouTube comment section, and I'll maybe read it all out again a little bit later, just in case you didn't quite get the grasp of that, because I didn't grasp it the first time I read it, but then it all sort of clicks, and it's quite simple really. So back into the pool, already 5 minutes into this one. Lanes 3, 4 and 5. That is Alex Crossland, Marshall Illingworth and Ryan Huddart. They are out in front, but look at that, still 40 lengths to go. So each time the swimmers get back to the starting end, the relative official looking after their lane will let them know how many lengths they've got left to go. And when they've got 2 lengths to go, of course, short course, 25 metre pool, 2 lengths to go, or 50 metres, you'll hear the bell, and it will sound like an audition for Britain's Got Talent when it gets close, because bells will be going off for around a minute or so. So I've mentioned Speedo and Bright Network. We also have a supporting partner in Camp America. I love the Camp America adverts. Makes me want to go to the States every single time. So if you like holidays, Camp America are offering you the chance to win a free holiday across the USA. Last year, University of East Anglia swimmer Gabrielle Conge, or Songe, did just that and celebrated in style with a trip to the west coast of the USA. So go and see if your luck's in by heading to www.campamerica.co.uk/BUCS, or if you are coming down to the venue, all of our sponsors, Speedo, Bright Network and Camp America, all have little stands here as you enter the spectating area. Have a little chat with them, see what they've got on offer, and support our sponsors of this fantastic event. So the men's pool running about a minute ahead of the women's. So whatever event you're watching on this stream is going to be the women's equivalent, of course, on the opposite stream. We are going to try and run everything side by side for the entire weekend. The only time you'll see men and women in the same pool is when we had our mixed relays earlier on this evening, and the final, of course, coming at the end of this session. Approximately sort of 7:40-ish, but don't write that in stone. A rough estimated time for that final later on. A and B final. Points and awards and medals and trophies allocated as was described. And just in case you're waiting for a family, friend, teammate or loved one in Heat 2, I can tell you coming up in Heat number 2 is going to be Jamie McCaffrey, Nathan Wells, Asteroids Diagonanis, Duncan Scott, Luke Turley, William Riley, Max Murphy, Jacques Boncel, Daniel Ferguson and Bailey Hairstein. So in fact, Bath very strong in the 1500 metres. They've got 3 swimmers across both heats. Loughborough even better, they've got 3 swimmers, Loughborough, in heat number 2. The fastest swimmers though, both from Team Bath, that is Luke Tully and William Riley. They go in heat number 2. They come in with 15:04s and 15:11 respectively. So how are we getting on in the pool? A little bit more of a split pool now. Still the same 3 we had at the 5-minute mark. That time's double now, almost 10 minutes swimming done. 24 or so lengths to go. Alex Crossland Robbins of Stirling still with a lead over Marshall Illingworth and Ryan Huddart, but with 24 lengths to go. Let's not read too much into that one at the moment. So just over a second separating those top 3. Almost 5 back to Dakers and then Rutherford. And then it's the best of the rest is Samuel Naylor down in lane 0, but almost a good sort of 10 seconds behind our leading trio. That's a big gap to bridge, but hey, over 20 lengths to go. Quick look ahead to session 2, which starts at 9 AM tomorrow. In the men's pool, we are going to see the men's 200 metre freestyle, the 50 metre backstroke, 50 metre breaststroke and the 100 metre butterfly. So just 4 events in the opening session tomorrow. And the way it works at BUCS events, no matter how many heats there are, let's say there's 10 heats in our first event, the men's 200 metre freestyle. We start with the 3 fastest heats. We do the same for the next 3 events. So we're going to see the fastest 3 heats from the 200 free, the 50 back, the 50 breaststroke and the 100 metre butterfly. And then after those fastest 3 heats from all 4 events, we will then have the remaining heats of those 4 events. It just gives the anticipated fastest swimmers a bit more time to rejuvenate themselves before the any more races, first of all in session 3, but of course more importantly those finals that are from 6 PM onwards tomorrow evening. So 9 AM things start tomorrow. Of course plenty still to come in the pool this evening, so don't get too far ahead of ourselves. And now we're down into the teens, 16 lengths to go. Now we still have that trio in the centre, lanes 3, 4 and 5. Alex Crossland Robbins, Marshall Illingworth, Ryan Huddart. But they are neck and neck now, aren't they? Crossland Robbins and Huddart. A couple of metres back to Marshall Illingworth. And tell you who's not going too badly. Lane 6, Alex Dakers. He could still have a say in this, as is lane number 2, Angus Rutherford of Aberdeen. not out of this yet. There's a few swimmers now that have gone beyond a length behind. I think that's the stage where you think maybe this is just too much. So 5 most definitely still in this one. Our top 3, then the 2 lanes to their sides. And into the final dozen. 300 to go. Again, we look at around about the 16-minute mark as the expected finish time. And that is literally just going off the paperwork in front of us. Can change drastically, as we know. So 3.5 seconds now separating those top 3. It was about 1.5 about 200 metres ago. So a bit of a separation coming up now. Alex Dacres and Angus Rutherford just about still involved for the top 3 spaces. So one more time, it is heat declared winner. So we've got 2 heats, fastest 3 times across both heats. They'll be your medalists, and your fastest 10 across both heats will be your point scorers. So this is the first chance for teams to get points on the board and to kick off their weekend. And we are into the final 6 lengths now. And this is becoming a 3-man race because there's a good 10 metres back now to Alex Dacres and then Angus Rutherford. Don't be mistaken by Finlay Saunders in lane 1. Unfortunately, he's a couple of lengths behind, not involved in that top 3. It just goes to show the quality of those in the middle, doesn't it? So who's it going to be? 100 to go for Crossland, Robbins, Illingworth and Huddart, representing Stirling, Glasgow and Derby. And we now have a front 2. We've got a top 3 and definitely a front 2. Crossland, Robbins and Huddart. And they'll be well aware because they're swimming stroke for stroke. And every few strokes they do face each other as well. Unfortunately, I don't think the time is going to be quite quick enough. It's going to be outside 16 minutes. And after 1,500 metres of swimming, it's going to come down to less than a metre or so, and it's going to go the way of Ryan Huddart of Derby. 16, 13, 18. Less than a second back is Alex Crossland Robbins. Marshall Illingworth of Glasgow. It was a 3-man race, wasn't it? From around about the halfway stage, we thought Alex Dacres and Rutherford might get back into it. They end just over 10 seconds back. And the remaining swimmers closing things out. So after our top 5 was Samuel Naylor, 16.40. Look at that on the far side, Elliot Pickford and Tom Jeffers. They had a little ding-dong, separated by just 4/10 or so. And then finally bringing things home in lane number 1, Finlay Saunders, just dipping under 17 minutes. So the women's race just finishing now. And if you're interested, that is won by Goggy Britton of UCL in 16:38. What a great name, Goggy Britton. Loughborough's M. Clark was second in that one. And rounding out the top three, Maisie McCartney of Loughborough. So let's concentrate back again on the men's pool. Heat number 2 of 2. From this near side, Jamie McCaffrey of Manchester Metropolitan. Loughborough teammates in 1 and 2, Nathan Wells and Asteroid Stologianis. Duncan Scott of Stirling in 3, Luke Turley of Bath in 4, his teammate William Riley in 5, Max Murphy, Loughborough in 6, Jacques Boncel of Cambridge in 7, Daniel Ferguson, Harry Ort in 8, and Bailey Haresin of Manchester goes in lane number 9. So 16:13 of Ryan Huddart of Derby from heat number 1. That's the quickest time set thus far after just one heat. Will it be enough for a medal? Looking at the paperwork, it's very unlikely, because every single entry time in this heat was 15:50 or under, and going right down to the quickest, which was a 15:04 from Bath's Luke Turley. .60 lengths separating them, and not only gold, silver and bronze, but also 10 points, 9 points and so on. If everybody in the pool goes under 16:13, then the points will only be allocated to this pool. But Ryan Huddart with a 16:13 could still get points for Derby. Of course, will be the first points on the board of the entire weekend. What a good time for our message from our headline partner Speedo. For the historic BUCS swimming fans amongst you, you may have realised this competition is brought to you this year with an added twist. The BUCS swimming programme has been rebranded the Speedo and BUCS Swimming Series, thanks to support from our new swimming headline partner Speedo. As headline partners for the entire swimming programme, Speedo will be supporting each BUCS swimming event across the next 3 entire years. BUCS would like to take that opportunity to say thank you to Speedo for their support of higher education swimming. Hear, hear, thank you to Speedo, and of course our partner sponsors Bright Network and Camp America as well. All three here in person at Ponds Forge International Sports Centre over the entire weekend. And this short course championship is in fact just one of 3 events that make up the Speedo and BUCS swimming series. That is a combination of this short course championship, the long course championship and the team championships. Now I know you're watching on YouTube. If you are getting involved on any other social media channel, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, use the hashtag SpeedoBucks. SpeedoBucks is SPEEDO, of course, BUCS. Leave your comments, images, videos, messages for loved ones, competitors, family, whoever it might be. We love you getting involved, as we do on the chat box as well on YouTube. My name's Ewan, I'm here this evening and all day tomorrow as well. Get involved, I'll read out as many messages as I can. In the pool, we have lanes 3 and 5. Early leaders, I say early, with 44 lengths to go, very early leaders. But it's Duncan Scott of Stirling and William Riley of Bath. Then you have Astroist Daldagianais of Loughborough in 2. And Turley 2:08 behind, so we've got a top 4 within just about 2 seconds. And as we found in heat number 1, gaps start to appear. And at the halfway stage, things really change in these longer events. You set your stall out early on, then hang on. And it is an incredible distance, isn't it? 1500 metres in the pool, especially in a short course pool as well. So a clear top 4. Riley Scott, Daldagiananis and Turley. And Barracuda 40 on the YouTube chat says, good luck Duncan Scott. Duncan Scott representing Stirling in lane number 3. And he is doing very well indeed. Because he is our leader, 5:02 through 500 metres. Still just over 2 seconds back to our top 4. Then we jump out to 8 seconds, don't we? Look at that. So in heat 1 we had a front 5. In heat number 2 we've got a front 4. A front 4 with only 3 medals available though. So Duncan Scott with a body length advantage out in front now. It's really not much when you've got 34 lengths to go, but it is something, and it's a mental advantage more than anything. And then still our top 4. One of them in around 750 metres time is going to be disappointed. Because they separate the pool now, those 4, by a good, well, 10 seconds plus. It's going to be a monumental effort for anybody else to get back into this one. But it's not just about the top 3 in the medals, it's points on the table as well. 10 points for the win, down to 1 point for 10th place. And at the end of the weekend, could be absolutely vital, couldn't it? So there's going to be no let up in effort whatsoever. So halfway stage, 30 lengths completed, 30 to go, 7:33 is the halfway mark, so pretty much on for that time of 15:04. Of course, if there's no let up, have they gone out quickly or have they left more in the tank for a negative split second half? We'll find out. Duncan Scott, William Riley and Max Murphy happy to use each other as pacemakers. Duncan Scott, well, he stretched it out now to, what is it? It must be, wow, 2.37. Is he starting to consciously and purposely move away? He's going from a far distance out if he is doing that, or is he just swimming inside himself and this is the result? Because he's not the fastest on paper. Luke Turley came in with a time 10 seconds quicker. But of course the entry times, not necessarily maximum effort. Does get you the most advantageous or most preferred spot in the pool. Have the best view of those around you. And that's what Duncan Scott has got at the moment. He can turn there and underwater. You'll see to his left and right hand side. Predominantly to his right, he has William Riley and Max Murphy of Bath and Loughborough. In lane number 2, Asteroist Daldagiananis. Is he just starting to struggle? He's just falling off the tail of William Riley in 5. One man that isn't slowing down is Stirling's Duncan Scott in 3. And there's still 22 lengths to go, but I mean, it does rattle down once you get into that final dozen. Now 2.87, 4 seconds then back to Riley and 6 back to Dalda Giannanis.
Results.
And it is 10 seconds back to Dalda Giannanis. And I mean, look at Duncan Scott, he really is moving away now. Has this gone outside 3 seconds yet? It does, almost 3.5, so he's gained 0.6 of a second on that last 50 metres. Luke Turley hanging on to William Riley. The Bath teammates, them two in 4 and 5. They'll have done plenty of training together over the years. And now there's medals on the line for them. So I'm sure it's all friendly. But they'll desperately want to try and catch, first of all, Duncan Scott. And if not, claim the silver over the bronze. Now, Daldo Giannis, not completely out of this. He's only he's a long way from first place. He's a long way from Duncan Scott, but he's not that far from Luke Turley and William Riley. Still 400 metres to go. Let's not get carried away. So 4 seconds back to Turley. 5 back to Riley. I'd say if he's not within a few seconds of those two with 200 to go, then it might be a different story. But Duncan Scott just looking so strong in lane number 3. He's not let up whatsoever. He was the marginal leader in the first few hundred metres, moved away over the halfway mark, and he's maintained that and even strengthened that as he goes into the last few hundred as well. $12 laps to go, and it's just 300 metres. And I'm not writing off Dalda Giannanis in lane number 2. I'm not willing to do it yet. Luke Turley and William Riley, the Bath teammates, he's only 6 metres or so behind them. Then if you want to look at the rest of the pool, after those top 4 we've been discussing, Nathan Wells is in 5th place. Max Murphy is in 6th. Daniel Ferguson currently in 7th. Jack Bonsell in 8th. Billy Hairsign in 9th. And then Jamie McCaffrey in lane number 0 currently occupying 10th place. So still, again, points available. As long as you beat 16:13, that was the time set by Ryan Huddart of Derby in heat number 1. As long as you beat 16:13, you are going to be getting points for your university. So 200 remaining for our leader. And it's still, as you were, Turley ahead of Riley, but less than half a stroke in it. So they will go right to the death. And now maybe Dalda Giannanis, it is going to be too much, isn't it? He's a good 6 or 7s back from those two. Final 150. 13:37. We might just see their times come in. Yep, 6.5 seconds back. 1/10 or less than 1/10 separating Turley and Riley. Then it's 10-second back to the man from Loughborough 2. And it looks like Duncan Scott is just slowing down ever so slightly. And I mean, let's be honest, it's no surprise whatsoever, 1,500 metres, but that lead is comfortable. He can afford to slow down. He can afford to relax slightly. Not be complacent by any means, but he knows he's got 10 metres. Experienced swimmer. And he can now control the last 150 metres. William Riley, he now leads Luke Turley, his teammate. It's been the other way around for the last 800 or so. And he's not just leading, he's moving away from him as well. And here we are then, our last 50 metres. Great performance from Duncan Scott of Stirling. He's going to comfortably beat 16:13, that's not a question whatsoever. His winning time is going to be somewhere around 15:15 or so. That's irrelevant, it's enough for a gold medal, it'll be enough for 10 points as well. And look at that, what a final 100 as well from William Riley of Bath. Blown his teammate Luke Turley out the water, but there's your winner Duncan Scott, 15:06, even quicker than I thought in fact. And then William Riley 15:11, and his teammate and long-time partner in the pool side by side for around about 1,350 metres. But he moved away in the end, didn't he, William Riley? Very nicely indeed. Saved something in the tanker, 6th or 7th gear, beating his teammate by 4 seconds in the end. But let's not take any moment away from Duncan Scott. A fantastic performance from start to finish. 15:06.82 the winning time. Asteroids Dalgianis 15:23. So that is definitely 4th fastest from both heats. Nathan Wells 15:47 is he's going to get points on the board as well. Anybody under 16:13 is getting points. Will it be the entire pool? Not entirely sure. We wait for them to come in. Here's the next two. Max Murphy and Daniel Ferguson. 200 separating those two, crikey. Jacques Boncel 16:07. Is it going to be all in this pool? Or is Ryan Haddock going to get a couple of points on the board? He is. He is going to get points. So it was a fantastic swim from heat number 1. Ryan Haddock of Derby is our 7th fastest swimmer, then Jamie McCaffrey. And Dalgianis, well, he's swum 1,500, but he's not had enough yet because he's going back for another length. What's he found? Oh, I think he found a swimming cap. Good lad. Doing some litter picking after 1,500 metres. I don't know, I might have left that to somebody else. So well done, Duncan Scott. That rounds out the men's 1,500 metre freestyle heats. Our first medalists and point scorers of the session. Session number 1 of 7. Of course, we're here all weekend, but we are not done yet because we have coming up the final of the mixed 4x50 medley relay. So stick around, it's going to be happening on this stream. The women's pool now has closed for the evening. So as we wait for the start of the finals here, the final races, the final event, let's have a little message from our sponsors.
I got so much support from Bright Network that without them, not sure I would have been able to get the job that I did.
It kind of broke down jobs and grad schemes and things available in a way that was really easy for me to understand and apply to.
It was a mixture of the website and obviously the commercial awareness updates I got via my email.
Really easy to navigate. There is like thousands of internships that you can just pick from on their pages.
So without Bright Network, I wouldn't even know the role existed.
Okay, so here we are. What perfect time, because we are ready for the final of the mixed 4x50 medley team relay. We saw the heats earlier on this evening. It was the first event we saw of this session, and here's your 10 finalists. So from lane 0, Nottingham 1, Stirling 2, Bath, Loughborough 1, Stirling 1, Edinburgh 1, Loughborough 2, Manchester Met 1, Oxford and Aberdeen 1. And just like that, we're ready to go. Back leg, or back stroke leg, going to be first to go. So Stirling with the fastest from earlier on this evening. Then Edinburgh, the two Scottish universities. Then two Loughborough teams outside them in lanes 3 and 5, 3 and 6. And two Stirling teams, because Stirling 2 go in lane number 1. So look, what an incredible start by Loughborough 1 in lane number 3. My goodness me, that is absolutely flying. They've gone out 1.3 seconds quicker than anybody else. That's Bath, then Oxford, Manchester Met. And the fastest teams on paper, the fastest teams from our heats this morning, Stirling and Edinburgh, work to do already through leg number 2. Still lane number 3, Loughborough out in front, but here come they now in lanes 2 and 1, particularly Stirling 2 and Bath. And we're going to see Stirling 1 and Edinburgh come back as well in lanes 4 and 5 as we go into leg number 3. Halfway marker, still Loughborough 1, Oxford, Bath, Stirling, Loughborough 2, Edinburgh 1, Aberdeen. There your top 5. Onto the butterfly leg. Now it is neck and neck between lanes 3 and 6 with Loughborough 2. So the Loughborough teams in lane number 3, Loughborough 1. In lane number 6, Loughborough 2. What an incredible first 3 legs they've had. Into the final one now. Plenty of work to do from Stirling and Edinburgh. They were the fastest in the heats. They're not the fastest in the pool at the moment. Plenty of work to do. In lane number 3, Loughborough, it's been them from the opening 10 metres. What a performance. They've got 15 metres to make it to the final. And in lane number 6, Loughborough 2 is the two teammates. But here comes Stirling, here come Edinburgh. Can they take a medal away? They can't, because it goes to Loughborough 1. 1:40.44 the winning time. Loughborough 2 take second place, silver medal 1:42.99. Then Stirling, the fastest from the heats. They settle for third place in the final, 1:43.47. Then their Scottish counterparts, Edinburgh, second fastest from the heats, out of the medals, in the points, but out of the medals. What a surprise that is, 1:44.15, not enough to get their medals. What a cracking final. Plenty more to come over the weekend, but what a start. What a fantastic session we've had. And a bit of a surprise, is it really? Loughborough, very well known for their fast swing, but we did see fantastic times from Stirling and Edinburgh in the heats, but Loughborough left it until when it was most important. Gold and silver in this final. Loughborough 1 and Loughborough 2, 1:40.44 the winning time. So plenty more to come tomorrow. Again, we start the action at 9 AM with the men's 200 metre freestyle. And of course, on the South Pool, the women's pool, 2 separate live streams. If you want to watch women swimming over the weekend, watch the women's version of the stream. If you want to stick with the men, stick right here on this YouTube channel. But there are 2 live streams available to you. So one final thank you to our sponsors. It is Speedo, it is Bright Network and Camp America. They are with us all weekend. We thank them for their support and their support of BUCS and higher education, sport and swimming. My name's Ewan. Thank you for joining me. I will be here from 9 AM tomorrow. I hope you are as well. Keep involved on the YouTube channel. Can't wait to speak to you. Have a safe journey home if you're travelling somewhere. If not, have a great sleep. We see you tomorrow, 9 AM. Don't go anywhere. The action starts with BUCS and Speedo Short Course Swimming Championships 2019. We are just getting started. Those are about 2 miles.